So you found beta readers, but what do you ask them? And how do you organize their feedback? In today's video, we're going to talk about it. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Sarah Sutton, indie author of my debut novel, What Are Friends For?, which is a young adult friends to lovers romance, and also the author of my upcoming young adult fake relationship romance, Out of My League. You can find the links to both of those books in the description box below. Welcome back to my channel. I'm trying really hard so that there won't be a glare in my glasses, but I'm also like super blind, so I can't really see the viewfinder as well. So hopefully I'm not out of focus or anything like that. But in today's video, we're going to be talking all about my chapter feedback, what I ask my beta readers after each chapter of work that I send them, and how I organize their feedback to make it the most useful for me. Let's address a few elephants in the room. Like one being my hair. I know how short it is, you guys. I am in love with it. I cut it on a whim because it's quarantine and why not? I'm thinking about dyeing it too, so we'll see how that goes. Not quite sure how that's gonna pan out, but we'll see. And I already mentioned my glasses. I ran out of contacts, which sucks. I'm using one last pair, and that's trying to get me by until next Tuesday, I think, until I get an eye appointment to get more contacts. So bear with me in the glare on my glasses in the meantime. But yeah, so without talking too much about this, let's just hop right into the video. But before we do, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you are not already. We would love to have you here in this family, and you don't want to miss out part 3 of this series, do you? Didn't think so. If you missed part 1, we talked all about where I find my beta readers and the application that I use to kind of weed out the bad ones. Because you don't want just anybody reading your book. You want people who are going to give you the most productive feedback as possible. And that was what part 1 is all about. But what do you do with productive feedback? And what kind of questions are you supposed to ask to get the most productive feedback possible? Let's go over the questions that I ask every time I get chapters back from my beta readers. So I should probably detail my process just a smidge more. So I send out my work in progress in every 5 chapters. So I'll group 5 chapters together, send it to my betas. They'll read it, they'll critique it, they'll send me the form back, and I will send them the next set of the 5 chapters. For me, that's the best way to do it possible because I know where they're at in the process, I know no one's lagging behind, and it's really easy to just kind of gauge how far along each reader is. And I know it might be easier to just send the whole manuscript all at once, but you really do get more specified feedback when it comes to grouping the chapters in increments instead of giving it all at once. I have a feedback form for every 5 chapters that I send, and that form is really specified for those 5 chapters instead of the whole book as a whole, so it is a ton more feedback on my end. Here is what the chapter form looks like. I'm not gonna try and focus it on the viewfinder, but I will pop some stuff up on the screen like I did last time. It is 1 page, 2 page and a half, so 2.5 pages. And the questions are very simple and very easy, and let's just hop into them straight away. I have my weird header here. I don't really know why, but it's just kind of, I had that header back before I ever published a book, so it was a author branding, but now it just looks so bizarre. And that's probably why. This is 2.5 pages. It probably wouldn't be that long if I didn't have this giant header. I don't know. Okay, so let's hop into the first round of feedback questions. Okay, so this was for my If the Broom Fits chapters feedback, but none of the things are specified for that story. They can all be used for any story that I write, just so it's easy to reuse them. I ask them their name, their email, and what segment of chapters they're giving their feedback on. So in that section, they will just put 6 through 11 or 1 through 5, you know, just so I know and can see exactly what they're commenting on and where they're at in the story. I ask, what were your initial thoughts on the collection of chapters? And that really gauges the beginning thoughts of their thought, you know, in the book, what they think of it. And it's helpful to kind of know where they are mentally going into this segment. I ask them, what was their favorite scene and why? I ask them this because I really want to know what really stood out to them and what tugged on their heartstrings more so than the rest of the scenes in the book. I ask them what their least favorite scene was and why. This one's kind of obvious. I want to know what they did not like about the section of chapters and why. Sometimes they don't like a specific scene just because it's a sad scene or a very emotional scene, and that's a good thing, but sometimes they don't like a certain scene because it's lackluster or the characters don't act the way they should, the character motivation is off, and things like that. So that question is super helpful. I ask them, what were your thoughts on the main character in these chapters? When I write a book, especially from when I wrote If the Broom Fits, I had a certain way of what I wanted Blair to come across as in the writing. I wanted her to be kind of angsty, kind of like a typical teenager who's going through hard stuff in her life, kind of firm and reserved and all that stuff. Getting my beta reader's thoughts on how she acted in these sections of chapters is really helpful to make sure that I am still representing her the way that I want to. That she is not being misconstrued from angsty to whiny, from reserved to cold-hearted, or something like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's really helpful to kind of make sure that everything's staying on track. Then I ask, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you enjoy this collection of chapters? And then I put a little be honest asterisk at the bottom because I want them to be honest. That's the whole point of this. But sometimes if somebody gets a question like that, their immediate thought is to kind of praise the author in a way. They don't want to hurt their feelings, but you know what? I want my feelings hurt. If you got some truth bombs to land on me, bring them. I need them. They are needed in this story. And then I have a little question box saying why, because the whys are super important, so duh. And then the next one I have is, on a scale of 1 to 10, how excited are you for the next collection of chapters? This is typically for me in the first beginning part of it because the first 5 chapters are kind of important when it comes to writing, at least in my brain. That's how my scenes break down, how my beat sheets kind of line up. After every kind of 5 chapters, it should be important enough to keep the reader hooked on the edge of their seat. And it's a really helpful question to see if they're only on a 5 level of excitement. I know I need to bulk it up a bit. I then ask them if the amount of reading is too much for them, in which they can say, this is very doable for me, or I am feeling a little rushed. Just because, like I said, I don't want to rush anybody at all. I don't want this to be a stressful thing at all. I want this to be carefree and exciting and fun. And if someone's feeling stressed, they might not be most likely to be happy with the book. Do you know what I'm saying? So you want to give your beta readers as much time as possible while still sticking to your deadlines. So asking questions like this throughout the process is very helpful for the reader. Okay, let's take a quick pause. Just in case you haven't liked this video yet, I think we need a little break so you can do so. Likes and comments go such a long way for small YouTubers like me. It boosts us in the algorithm. It gets more people looking at our content, and more people can come and join our wonderful family. So if you want to help me out by liking this video and maybe leaving a quick comment, that would be amazing. And don't forget to subscribe while you're down there. Did you do it? Okay, let's get back into the video. Okie dokie, moving on. I asked them if there's any part of the story that feels unrealistic, whether that be character motivations, plot development, scene lineup. I want to know what's not realistic. What is pulling them from the story so much that they remember it 5 chapters later? I need to know that kind of stuff. That stuff is important because I don't want it to keep happening in the story. I asked them, is there anything else you'd like to tell me about these collection of chapters? Maybe something I didn't ask them, maybe something that they wanted to say but it slipped their mind. This is kind of like a catch-all box for them. I also asked them, was there anything that didn't sit well with you? For my beta reading, upon thinking back, I really do think that was more answered like character personalities kind of didn't sit well with them at some points. Especially for Blair. Blair came across very bratty when I didn't really mean for her to be too bratty, but so that was a good box to kind of catch what was wrong. It's just like one more question to get that reader's mind going and say, okay, this is the last question I've got. Is there anything that I'm missing? But those are the questions that I ask every 5 chapters, and they're not specific to certain sets of chapters, so they can be reused each time. And the feedback is very helpful when it comes to figuring out which chapters work best for everybody else, especially the rating. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how much did you enjoy this collection of chapters? That's really helpful because if I have 10 betas and let's say 7 of them say 8, but then if 3 of them say a 2, you know, I can kind of use that feedback and connect the 2 betas responses together and see if they line up, see if they match, and all that stuff. I've always been taught to use the rule of 3 when it comes to beta readers. If you hear something said 3 times, you know you need to take another look at it. I am the kind of person that if one beta reader says something, I will immediately look at it anyway. But if you don't agree with something and it's only mentioned once, you don't have to change it. Don't feel obliged to change it. But if something is mentioned 3 times by 3 separate people, you might want to take a closer look at that scene, that chapter, that character, because something is not settling right with those readers enough that 3 people are actually saying it's wrong. It's really hard sometimes to look at negative things about your writing from somebody else and be objective about it, because this is something you poured your heart and soul into. As harsh as it's gonna sound, you asked for their feedback, you asked for their comments. They're doing what you asked. The whole point of beta readers is to get an extra set of eyes on your work and help you grow as a writer. So even though they might have some negative things to say, it's really important to go into that feedback with an open mind. If you're gonna go into it with a closed mind, thinking, oh, my book is perfect, there's nothing needed to be changed, there's not really a point of you getting beta readers. Because if you're not open to change, why ask for an outsider's opinion? Not everybody is going to agree with you. That is for sure. There are going to be some people who don't agree. That's just going to be how it happens. But you have to go into it with an open mind and be willing to look at your story from all the angles, because you're only looking at it from one side of things. Different readers come into the story with different mindsets, different prejudices, different viewpoints on their lives. So it's really important to get a kind of bigger group of opinions and see what they think of it. I have been thinking about making templates for these questions, or posting my templates down below so you guys can download them and use them for yourselves if you want to use these questions for your beta reading questionnaires. So if that's something you'd be interested in, let me know, and I could put them in the video for beta reading part 3, which is the final part, which is going to be next Friday. I wanted to take a quick moment to talk about what June is going to look like. So June is going to be a wild and crazy month. I have got a release coming out. I have got Out of My League hitting your online retailers on June 16th. As far as YouTube goes, things are going to be picking up in the month of June. I am going to still be doing live streams every single Wednesday in the month of June, but I am going to be doing 15 videos. So I post my videos on Monday and on Friday, but on release week, I am posting a video every single day. 5 days of videos, my friends. 5 days of videos during release week. And I'm doing a release day live stream where I'm giving away copies of Out of My League, Waterfronts 4, paperback copies, bookmarks, signed swag, all that fun stuff. So definitely pop over to the live stream, release day live stream when it comes out. You're also going to be answering questions about Out of My League on that live stream, and there's just so many fun videos coming at you for June. June's going to be such a busy month, but it's going to be amazing, and I cannot wait to get it going. So yeah, that being said, thank you guys so much for watching today's video, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please, please, please be sure to like and leave a comment. Like I said in the middle of the video, they help so much. Even if it's an emoji as a comment, even if it's a thumbs up, a hey Sarah, how's it going, love the video, anything like that, it super duper helps me in the algorithm and helps more people find our lovely channel. Yay. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe if you feel so inclined. Thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you on Monday with another one. Bye. How she acted in these sections. Getting my beta readers. Blech. Nah. I'm sweating. I had to turn the AC off for this video, and oh my gosh. I don't think you can tell on camera though. Gosh, I hope I'm in focus. I seriously can't tell. I hope I am. I don't know if I am. Oh my gosh. I've been filming for 17 minutes. I really hope I'm in focus. Lord. Okay, now let's do a thumbnail. Thumbnail city. I can't see.